Are your kids aiming for top Ivy League colleges? Are your kids aiming for top 1% scores in SAT or ACT? What is the biggest hurdle? English. To have a strong foundation in English, Test Prep Pundits presents long-term SAT, ACT English program with robust curriculum and experienced teachers. For grades 6 through 10, just $80 a month. Contact us, info@testpreppundits.com, or call us, 844-383-7844.
Fine diamond jewelry is now one click away. Maya Fine Jewels, a family legacy, manufacturing their own jewelry since 1975. Shop online for lab-certified diamond jewelry at Indian prices. Visit your trusted family jeweler, Maya Fine Jewels, at 1315 Oak Tree Road, Islin, New Jersey. Shop online at mayaffinejewels.com.
సిలికాన్ ఆంధ్ర మనబడి అమెరికాలో ACS WASC గుర్తింపు పొందిన ఏకైక తెలుగు విద్యాలయం. మీ పిల్లలను 2021-2022 తరగతులలో చేర్పించండి. తరగతుల నమోదు ప్రారంభమైనది. సెప్టెంబర్ 11, 2021 నుండి తరగతులు ప్రారంభం. మనబడిలో చేర్పిద్దాం, తెలుగు భాష నేర్పిద్దాం. మరిన్ని వివరాలకు సంప్రదించండి manabadi.siliconandhra.org, info@manabadi.siliconandhra.org, 1844-626-BUDDY.
Hire international teachers who are well trained in U.S. curriculum for just $20 an hour, or for 2 students group, $15 an hour. We teach math, science, and English for elementary, middle, and high school. Contact info@testpreppundits. Call at 844-383-7844.
A new wave in the test prep. Test Prep Pundits offer SAT, PSAT, ACT just for $499, with powerful teachers, with top 1 percentile tutors, and powered by stellar digital curriculum. Contact us at info@testpreppundits.com or call at 844-383-7844.
On her big day, she decides how it's going to be.
Get ready to make way for the brides of India.
With Malabar Gold and Diamonds.
తెలంగాణ అమెరికా తెలుగు సంఘం TTA ఆధ్వర్యంలో న్యూ జెర్సీలోని కన్వెన్షన్ అండ్ ఎక్స్పో సెంటర్ లో మే 27, 28, 29, 2022 ఈ 3 రోజులు మెగా కన్వెన్షన్ నిర్వహించనున్నారు. ప్రముఖ వ్యాఖ్యాత సుమా కనకాలతో పాటు మరెందరో సినీ రాజకీయ ప్రముఖులు విచ్చేయనున్నారు. అంతేకాదు ప్రముఖ గాయని గాయకులతో SPBకి ఘన నివాళి, కప్రిసియో బ్యాండ్ మరియు వైవిధ్యభరితమైన ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమాలు ఆహుతులను అలరించనున్నాయి. ఆటలు పాటలతో సినీ తారలు, బుల్లితెర నటీనటులు, జానపద కళాకారులు అందరికీ ఇదే మా సాదర ఆహ్వానం. ఫర్ మోర్ డీటెయిల్స్ ప్లీజ్ విజిట్ www.tdaconvention.org.
Tvasiatelugu ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ hello and welcome back to yet another fantastic show of the Talk Show of the Experts. Folks, we have not one expert but 2 experts today. Rahul Garu, thank you for being on the show one day. And we have Emily Newman as well today on the show. Emily, thank you so much for being here on the show with us.
Thank you for having us.
Rahul Garu, I will defer to you, Andy, to talk a little more about Emily. I know Emily is your partner and you both have a law firm with about 20 other lawyers working around the clock, to support immigrants all across the nation. So first of all, thank you for your service. Thank you for being here. But Rahul Garu, can you tell us a little bit more about Emily, Andy?
She's more famous than I am. So a lot of people know me. A lot of people know more about her than me. A lot of our audiences know. But anyway, just to introduce, she has been associated with Reddy & Neiman PC from 2003 onwards. She's the brains behind our office. At the time when she joined, she was the second lawyer in our office. Now we have about 20 lawyers in our office, staff of 100 people. But the reason why I wanted to invite Emily to this one is that today we have the most important topic that we want to discuss. That's the reason I invited Emily to join, because it requires a lot of debate, discussion, and help to get the things to the audiences what they need to do.
All right, and I'm going to take a quick minute to thank our sponsors. This program is being sponsored by Test Prep Pundits. They help you achieve the best for your kids on SAT and ACT tests. Free boot camps every Saturday. Please visit their website for more details. Maya Fine Jewels, bringing our ethnic heritage all the way from India to US. Look no further, log on to mayafinejewels.com and get yourself a piece of our rich heritage. We also have Silicon Andhra Manabadi, accredited by the ACSWASE in the USA. Admissions are now open. Classes would have started actually yesterday. Join Manabadi and learn Telugu. For more information, please visit manabadi.siliconandhra.org or call 1-844-626-BUDDY. That's 2234. All right. Rahul Garu and Emily, we are here now to discuss the mother of all immigration bills. Okay, so I'm going to, heave the floor to you guys and want you to talk about, what is this bill about? What are some of the components that we need to look out for? How does this affect the people who are waiting for their green cards? Does it affect them? Things like that. So yeah, take it away, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Nitya Garu. It's mother of all bills in the immigration that at least I have noticed that has a good chance of passing, though. But here is the thing, though. The bill is not called as immigration bill, which is actually the very good part of it. It's called Budget Reconciliation Bill. This bill may have up to maybe anywhere between 1,000 pages to about 5,000 pages is what our expectation of the bill is. Okay. The immigration provisions on this one, as we were suspecting previously, that will be out by September 15th. They have now put out the provisions what they want to pass in the bill right now. It's only 17 pages and it's out. And a lot of our audiences have given a written letter to the congressmen and to their senators. I think so it's paid off. That's what I believe in. It definitely paid off according to it. Emily, can you summarize the bill when it's related to the employment-based immigration, the people who are waiting in line after the labor and I-140 has been approved?
Yeah, I think there are two major provisions of this bill that will greatly benefit employment-based immigrants, particularly those that have been waiting in the backlog. The first is the recapture of unused visas. We're going all the way back to 1992 and recapturing all those those employment-based green cards that went to waste year after year after year. Even this year, we've been talking about 80,000 green cards are expected to go to waste because USCIS can't get them processed in time. This will recapture all of those and make them available for employment-based immigration applicants. So that's
and how many do you think those are, Emily?
That's about 225,000.
Oh, okay.
We normally only get 140,000 each year. So that is a huge benefit that will allow so many people that have been waiting the opportunity to finally receive their green card. And then even on top of that, the real deal here is if you have your labor certification and I-140 approved for 2 years, they're exempting you from the cap and you can file your adjustment of status and receive your green card, even if a green card is not available to you. You just have to pay some extra fees for that. So that's a huge deal. You basically can skip ahead in line, be on the same playing field with the rest of the world, and those two provisions combined will be a huge benefit to so many people.
Wow. Okay. And where do you think this bill has more chances of passing? Both of you.
Yeah, I think that it has a great chance of passing because it's not a standalone immigration bill. We've seen time and time again when these comprehensive immigration bills come out, and the Gang of Eight bill, we've been talking about these things for decades, and it dies. They never go anywhere. This one is a very tiny provision in a huge budget bill that, which was the plan for the Democrats all along as a way to get immigration reform passed. The true, meaning behind this bill is really it's the DREAM Act. It's for undocumented, but they were able to include these employment-based provisions as well. And because they're doing it through the reconciliation process, they do not need a supermajority to get it passed. They are avoiding the filibuster. They can do this based on a simple majority in both the House and the Senate.
And why would you say that the priority date is going to move to May of 2019? That's a huge leap, right? Why do you think that is?
It's not going to be, I take back on that word again. It's not going to be May of 2019. It's going to be May of 2020.
What?
Yes. If you look into the strategy, the Assembly has pointed out that if your I-140 has been approved for more than 2 years, your priority date has been established for more than 2 years. So your I-140 has been approved. You can pay $5,000 and file a 485, and you don't be counted towards the number of the green cards at all. So you skip the entire line. So the bill is becoming effective on May 1st of 2022.
Okay.
So it's 2 years before that is May 1st of 2020.
Oh, wow. And Rahul Garu, do you think there's going to be any changes to these immigration provisions before it passes?
Emily, what do you think about it? What should our audiences do to keep these provisions in there, and what they should do? I mean, we have provided the link. What are some potential
changes that could come in?
Yeah, so the first thing to be aware of is this is just the House version of the reconciliation bill, and they don't have to give their final version until the 15th. So this is likely to go through an amendment process. So there could be amendments that modify these provisions. We also have the Senate doing the same thing. They may come up with something completely different. Theirs is also going to go through an amendment process. And then once the House and Senate bills are finalized, anything different has to be worked out. And so the final bill could look completely different than what we have right now. So the way to make sure, or to do the best we can to avoid these things being changed in a negative way, is continue contacting your congressman and senator using the template that we've provided to you, so that let them know that you want these provisions to stay and that they're very important, that they remain in the bill and they not be modified as they go through this amendment and final reconciliation process.
Okay, thank you. And in addition to that, is there anything that people can do now to help pass the bill itself? We talked about the provisions, but the entire bill itself. Is there anything else that people can do?
They should keep writing the letters, and they've already been doing it, but if they have not done it, the link is provided at the bottom. And a lot of people questioned us, hey, we keep writing, nothing happens. You have to keep writing, guys. I mean, we have a saying in Telugu, and of course I have to, because, excuse me, Emily, is that, adagande amma kuda annam bettada. The mother doesn't feed you unless you say you're hungry. So you need to say that. When we had a discussion in our with our lawyers in our office, why is that they're promoting these undocumented people? Why they are not promoting the documented people? The consensus that came out in our office with the lawyers is that, look, we have a way to stay in United States. They don't have a way to stay in United States. That's the reason they are giving provisions. So we guys are just we are not speaking out. We need to voice it out.
Right.
And that's the reason we have provided the letter at the bottom. It's been drafted by Emily that you can write to the senators. It's the same letter that we advised you from past 2 weeks. Keep writing this letter if you have not already written, because this is the most crucial step that can happen for us to have this bill. If we have this bill passed, the priority date is going to move significantly. Even if it doesn't move to May of 2020, up to May of 2020, you're going to file the 485 application. And that's the good thing. I mean, you're going to file the 485 application. You're going to skip the line. You won't be counted towards the number. And Emily, does it have any provisions for the children who are getting aged out. As you said already, that the DACA people, children who have not maintained the legal status, they are going to get the green card in this. What about the people who maintain the legal status?
Yeah, that's a really important aspect to be aware of. There's not a specific provision for documented dreamers or legal dreamers, kids that are at risk of aging out of the employment-based system. So instead, the kids that may be aging out would actually fall under the same provision as the dreamers. And because of that, they have to meet certain requirements to qualify. Number one is they had to come to the United States before they were 18 years old. And they have to be continuously present in the U.S. from January 1st, 2021. So we're going back to the beginning of the year. The reason I call that out is really important. If any of these kids might be in this situation where they could age out or have already gotten to that point, and they were here in the U.S. on January 1st, 2021, and they're here now, if they had plans to leave, they should not leave because they will get kicked out of this particular provision. And there is no separate provision for legal dreamers in this bill. That's one thing that it is lacking, but they do still have an option. So anyone who, obviously, we always recommend you maintain your status, but if you had travel plans, we would recommend avoiding travel while this bill gets worked out until we know exactly what the provisions are, so that you don't miss out on this opportunity.
Got it.
Emily, you said 2 points. They must have entered into the United States before January 1st of 2021, and they must be 18. They must be present here on January 1st of 2021, and they must continue to be present here. They must not have left the country. And the rest of the provision seems to be very simple. They must be graduate from a degree or something like that, which most of the, especially the TV Asia audiences will be meeting the requirements. So our advice to them is, if they have any travel plans, please don't travel. Don't have your kids travel at this point of time.
Rahul Garu, one more question, Andy. What about the essential workers? You know, do they get covered? Do they need to have labor and I-140 to, file the adjustment of status? What needs to happen?
Emily, what is essential worker? Critical essential workers. Yeah. Critical essential workers. What the critical essential workers that we've been described as is the persons who work in the sector. Emily, you have the list of the sectors that
Yeah, so this is those that have worked in the healthcare or public health, law enforcement, first responders, food and agriculture, energy, water and wastewater, transportation, logistics, public works, infrastructure, communications, IT, community organizations, critical manufacturing, hazardous materials, financial services, chemical, and defense industrial base. So it's very broad, and there are not any, they're not limiting this in any way. So it should be to the point where a lot of people who may not qualify under the other provisions that we talked about, their work might be tied to any of these critical work sectors and able to benefit from this bill. They have to have 3 years of continuous presence in the U.S. and have during the COVID situation. So they do have provisions, time periods about when you have to have worked in that critical infrastructure sector and have 3 years of presence in the U.S. in order to qualify.
But Nitya asked a question, Emily. Does they need to have a labor certification, I-140 approval? Because all other provision, at least for the adults, though, we know that for the 18-year-old kid, we don't need labor certification I-140 to file the adjustment of status. We know that. But what about these people, critical workers? Nitya asked a question. Do we need to have a labor and I-140 to file the adjustment of status?
It doesn't appear to be the case. They did not provide any specifics about meeting that requirement. So I feel like they're going to be maybe creating a new form or a new application process for people to document that they meet these requirements and file the adjustment of status, but it does not appear to require any labor certification.
Gotcha. For those people who are critical essential workers, all they need to do is that they have to pay this, how much, $1,500 extra? $1,500 extra filing fees for the adjustment of status and file the adjustment of status, which covers mostly healthcare. It says IT, but it says communication and information technology. But we need to look into more closely if who fits, who doesn't fit it. They haven't given very many description other than the 26-page memo that has been drafted, which we have to admit, guys, we haven't thoroughly analyzed it yet, but most probably we'll analyze it. And keep watching our TV Asia. We're going to come up with more description on those things too. Anything else in the bill that we should be telling our audiences?
I think the main thing is that we need your action in order to get this bill across the finish line and to make sure that there aren't any negative provisions added to it. Many times when we've gone through the immigration reform process and these bills come out, they tend to include anti-immigrant provisions as well. And there's a chance that might happen as this bill gets amended, as well as in the Senate version. So we need to make sure that we leave out anti-immigrant provisions and that we keep these provisions as is or possibly improve on them, but we don't want to lose the benefits that are in this bill. So it's essential that you contact your representatives and senator.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate that. All right, guys. I think we have provided a good amount of clarity on the bill right now. I know that we have a lot of callers who are waiting for us, so we'll get around to the callers in a second. Let's take our first caller for today.
Happen as this bill gets amended, as well as in the Senate version.
Caller from area code 650. We're ready for you now. Caller from area code 650. Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hi, Rahul Garu and Nitya. Thank you for all your support to the community. So my priority date is, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
My priority date is EB2 September 2014. My old employer, which is consulting firm, filed EB3 downgrade. My receipt date is October 28th. But I'm still waiting on further updates, not even biometrics. The question is, with my current company, I just got a Perm approved. So what would you advise on filing?
Did you got the I-140 approved with the current company?
No, Perm, just Perm got it.
No. With the current adjustment of status, did you got the I-140 approved? Not yet.
Nothing.
Yeah, I would like to take the judgment call to see if you want to file it again or not. I would like to consult with the lawyer because I would have got this I-140 approval under premium processing. If it's not approved under premium processing, it's up to your judgment call to drop the entire 485 application, file a fresh application. But you have to understand one thing, the priority date is still not current for you right now. Correct. So I would still advise, I would still advise at this point of time that you do the premium processing for the I-140 if you have not already done it.
But I had with my old employer, I'm not with them right currently. So
I know, but did you? But they filed an I-140, but you should do the premium processing.
Oh, so I can try. Okay.
Yeah, you should.
And okay, so you should not recommend to file new I-140 with the current company.
Right now, I would do the premium processing first, and then you can file an I-140 with the current company. Right now, whether you want to file a 485 or not, you can always take the judgment call later on.
Okay. So I need to disclose them during the I-485 filing?
Yeah, if you were to file, you have to disclose that you have already filed it before, yes.
Oh, okay. And another question is the last question.
Let's give the chance to the other people.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. Let's take our next caller. Rahul and Emily, I have a question. This is from Mohammad Iqbal. He says, my priority date is 11/28/2015. With the current update of the reconciliation bill, when can I file my adjustment of status and how much do I have to spend for my family of 3 members?
Good question. Emily?
Yeah, with this bill, I think we'd be looking at May 2022 And as far as the cost, you have your regular 485 filing fees, the $1,200 per person, and then an additional $5,000 per family to file under the provisions in this budget bill.
It's per family. And not to forget that even if for the adjustment of status also, I think so this guy may not fall into the 5,000 category because of the 2015 Emily. He may be coming under the recapture of the priority, recapture of the unused thing. So I think so he just have to pay the, $1,500 additional fees, not the 5,000. That's my judgment call. But you never know. So $1,200 for each person in the family. We don't know whether this $1,500 extra is per family or per person because the bill did not clarify in that one. With regards to the $5,000 Emily said, it depends on if the prior date moves, then he doesn't have to pay the $5,000. If the prior date doesn't move, then he has to pay that $5,000 is per family.
Family, okay. And in his case, if they do have to pay that extra $1,500 per person also, it kind of amounts to the same amount. Like
right, you're right. 4,500 for the family.
So I guess it's eventually it will be a maximum of 5,000. Yeah. So thank you, Mohammed. All right, let's take our next caller, guys. Caller from area code 218. We're ready for you now. Caller from area code 218. *600 to unmute your line. *6 to unmute. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Nitya Garu and Rahul Garu. Can you hear me?
Hello, sir. Yeah, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. Yeah. First of all, thank you very much for you guys helping out the community, taking your own time. I have two questions, okay? The first question is, this is for my wife, and we have applied for her H4 EAD extension, but I know it is taking a long time. But, we wanted to use her H1, which was approved in 2007, and we never used it. So my first question is, can we use that H1 so that
when you say H1B is approved, when you say H1B is approved, was it approved with the I-94 or without the I-94?
With the I-94.
And then she switched back to the H4.
That's correct. It was way back in 2000.
And what about her existing H4? When is it expiring or expired?
It has already expired. So we have already filed her H4 extension.
So I got it. You told me that. You told me that. I just was asking whether, here is the thing. You can file a change of status application from H4 to H1. But here is the problem that pops up though. At the time when you get the H4 to H1 approval, you can request the officer to adjudicate the H4 extension approval also. The reason is that the I-94 expired in, let's say, July, and you're filing in September. They may not give the H1B approval with the I-94. That means that she has to go outside the country to get the stamping. There is a 50% chance for that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So again, I may repeat my question. So she has a possibility to use her.
Yeah, absolutely.
H1,
absolutely.
Right?
There are a lot of people that are under the assumption that it must have happened within 6 years, within 2 years, within 1 year. There is nothing like that. She's good for the lifetime. She can use it. She can only use the unused portion of the 6 years of the H1B that are left out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Let's take our next caller, Andy. Rahul and Emily, I have another question for you guys. This is from Nav Cow. Says, how will this bill tackle the processing times of MTRs and appeals, or will it?
I think there's a likelihood that it will have a positive impact on processing time. There's another major provision of the bill that we have not discussed is it provides millions of dollars of funding for USCIS because they are underfunded right now, which is one of the main reasons they claim that processing times are so bad. This new funding, they should be able to employ more officers and hopefully get processing times under control, but it may not be a fast change.
So there's extra $1,500 for each applicant, it seems to be. And for all the people who want to skip the line, there's a $5,000. And is there any $50,000 filing fees also, Emily?
Yes, for EB-5.
Oh, wow.
They pay $50,000, but I'm talking about the $28 million in funding that they're also providing to USCIS.
Billion, you mean? Yeah.
Billion, yes.
Yeah. And then, yes, Nitya Garu, yes, you're shocked. Yes, there is a 50 in this bill. Let's not forget, Nitya Garu, that this bill is a budget bill, though.
Correct, yeah.
This is not an immigration bill. So unless there are provisions of collecting the money, there's no bill.
That's true.
And as Emily has pointed out before, this bill is about the money, budget bill, nothing to do with immigration. So anything that doesn't collect the money cannot go in this bill. Okay. And if it's a budget bill, though, then as Emily pointed out, we do not need 60 votes in the Senate. We only need 51 votes in the Senate, though. That's the reason most of the bills have failed. As of now, if you look into history of the major immigration bills that failed, they were stand-alone immigration bills.
Right.
They were not budget bills. And some of the things failed in the Senate. Most of the things failed in Senate. Some of the things failed in the House. Yeah. Now, at the time when the 𝐀𝐓𝐓𝐿 bill came in, it got shot down in the House. It passed through the Senate, though. But there are a couple of things that came out that did not get through. Sorry, not the 𝐀𝐓𝐓𝐿. I don't recall. Yeah, there are two bills. I get confused between. So some things are getting failed in the Senate. Some things are getting failed in the House. Right now, this is the thing. The Democrats have a majority in the House. They do have a majority in the Senate. They don't need 50 votes. That's the reason the money part is coming. Yes, $50,000 filing fees is there for some EB-5 cases. Anyway, they are, they have $1 million. They can pay $50,000. That's fine.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Let's take a caller. Caller from area code 608. We're ready for you now.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Nitya, Rahul, and Emily for taking my call. I have a question. So I am working for a consulting company, and I have been working with them since I moved back from India. So my consulting company started my payroll 26 days after my initial I-94 entry. So there is a 26 days gap between I-94 entry and my start date, payroll date. So will that be my 485 is priority date is current, biometric is done, medical is I interfiled my medical. So will that be a problem for my 485 approval? And if I am asked to explain the gap during the interview, what should be my answer?
Emily, I would give him a 1 in a billion chance of problem for 26 days. How much do you think so?
Yeah, I would agree.
1 in a billion chance of problem. So please relax.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling in. Let's take our next caller. I have a question. This is from JJ. Says, should I postpone my downgrade decision until after the reconciliation bill in May 22? Says my priority date is October 2012. EB2. Currently on EB2, planning to downgrade in September. Got to go to India in October through December of this year.
Here is the thing. If you are getting $1 million right now, and then Emily and Rahul are telling that they may give you $1 million, in May of 2002, it would be stupid not to take the $1 million right now, believe me.
Right.
Take it.
So do the downgrade.
Do the downgrade right now. Don't wait until May of 2022. You get an opportunity to go into adjustment of status. Don't worry about what Emily says. Don't worry about what Rahul says. Just take it. Do it right now.
Take it. Do it right now. Okay. Don't waste your time, JJ. Go ahead with it. Yep. All right. On to our next caller. Caller from area code 732. We're ready for you now. Caller from area code 732.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, ma'am. My name is Sejal Pachal, and I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
And my priority date is September 24, 2014. And we already filed my 485 last year, 2020 October. We received EAD and AP card, and we also received my medical RFE, and we submit in August 19, but my online status is not updated yet. And after few days, I mean August 31st, my 485J is already approved. So when we can expect my priority date is current?
Well, first thing is that, what do you think of 2014, Emily, the priority date will be current?
Yes.
I do think it's possible that that will happen. With the online case status not changing, I would tell you that with this online My USCIS portal that you can create an account for, you should be able to chat with Emma, their chat bot there, and get the updated case status so that you can verify that they have received your RFE response.
Okay, because I already chat with Emma, and Emma said you need to wait minimum 60 days, and my case with MBC.
That's fine. You have to wait a little bit more time, ma'am. And I am expecting somewhere in November and December for your date to move.
Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling. Let's take our next caller. And in the meantime, I have a question. This is from Chandu C. Says, is there any action on TSC? Many people wrote letters as per the templates. Looks like the senators and congressmen are responding with standard answers. TSC is not making any progress since October of 2020.
TSC is a mess.
Court litigation, court litigation, any chance for that?
Yeah, we're definitely looking into that option. There's difficulties that you can face with filing delay litigation for 485 applications, but what we're looking into as a way to fix the 485 processing times is the I-140 downgrades, because those have been filed almost a year ago, and the majority of them are still pending. The only are coming in are those that upgrade to premium processing. And the problem with premium processing is you have to send it in time and time. They keep rejecting it, claiming that they need to get this original labor certification out of your old file. So we are seriously looking into litigation on that aspect as a way to attack the processing times at TSC for both the I-140s and the 485s. Okay. So we'll have news on that very soon.
Thank you, Emily.
While you're waiting for this, though, there is a letter that Emily has drafted in the link. The second letter, hold USCIS responsible. Please write the letters to the congressman and senator, because some things can be achieved more politically than in the court litigation. So this particular adjustment of status delay is more political rather than court system. So please try to write a letter to the congressman.
Makes sense. Thank you, guys. All right, let's take our next caller. Caller from area code 703. We're ready for you now.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Hi. I have a question. My priority date is June 16th, 2011, and we went for the downgrade in last year, October, and I didn't receive any EAD or AP. Then we went for the expedite request in May 21, 2021, and the expedite request for EAD was approved in July 28th. But as of now, I didn't get any update on that one. The card is, there is no status change. Only it was showing expedite request approved, but I didn't get anything. Yeah, what I need to do? Is there any? Do I need to do open? I opened already service ticket for the 15 days back, but it was assigned to the officer, but there is no status change. So can you suggest me what is my next step?
Welcome to the land of delay. I don't know, contact the congressman. Emily, any other step that you can suggest?
Yeah, I would suggest contacting the DHS, the USCIS Ombudsman office. You can do this online through a form called DHS 7001. If you Google that form, you'll find it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I already. Yeah, I submitted a ombudsman request also. That is again 15 days back, but there is no update from there also. Ombudsman.
Yeah, it does take
service
time
request
for
and
them
again-
to work on the case and actually give you an update on what's going on. So other than that, your congressman is your next best bet, but they're going to do the exact same thing that the ombudsman does. So unfortunately, I think you've just got to keep following up.
You know, Emily, and I'm not a very strong Hindu, but an Hindu, I tell people that the only thing that I can suggest is go to temple and hit the coconut. That's all. I mean, that's how the delays are right now. Unfortunately, congressmen not helping, ombudsman not helping, expedited not helping, service requests not helping. This has been common, guys. And that's the reason we need to have a permanent solution. Even though the congressman is responding to you and he's not giving you good assistance, when all the people keep on writing though, it will get, we have seen USCIS responding to some of the requests that we have made. They have made EB employment based as a high priority. Definitely they have issued Twitter, they have issued phone calls, text, emails for sending the medicals. But at this point of time, there is no magic solution for an individual client that will be immediately available that we can suggest at this point of time.
Okay. So the second question I have, biometric, my family members didn't receive the biometric. So is there any expedited for the biometric or is there any?
There is a chance when you go to the recent, what is that they issued, Emily? The recent declaration by the USCIS though. They may reuse your spouse. Is your spouse on H4?
Yeah. H4.
Yeah, there's a good chance. Yeah. And how old is your child though?
Child is 14 years.
Okay. Okay. They may reuse the biometrics that were already being done. There is a good chance for it. Now, for the people who are listening, if you get the biometrics for you, but not you, for your spouse and above 14 children, take your family with you with the 485 receipt notice. Sometimes they take you in, guys. Take your chance on this one though. But for now, since you're already gone, there's nothing else. We just have to pray that they're going to use the previously used biometrics. Or you follow the steps, what you've done in expediting the EAD, service request, Congress, Ombudsman, which all not working, but you can try.
Okay.
Next question.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Let's take our next caller. Rahul Garu, I have a quick shout out here from Adam B for you. Says, Rahul Garu, I've been watching your show for a year. I got so educated on everything immigration related. I got my green card this week. Appreciate what you're doing and probably this will be my last show. Thanks and God bless. But Adam B, congratulations.
Yeah, keep writing letters, buddy, for just, you climbed up the ladder. Don't throw the ladder out, please.
Yeah, help
there
out
are a lot
the
more
others as
people.
well.
Yeah, help out others, please. Thank you, Adam.
Awesome. And okay, I have a question also. This is from a different person. Her name is Ramya S. Says, my application is at the field office for more than 3 weeks now, and there's been no update. Priority date has been current since July. My husband already got his GC a month ago. Should I be worried?
Emily, tough question is always for you.
So just because it's at the field office and waiting a little bit.
We can hear you, Emily.
Okay, good. My screen just went black. Sorry about that. Because it's at the field office and taking a little bit longer, I would not assume anything's wrong. Just see processing times all over the board. We are seeing family members getting their up. So at this point, I don't think there's anything to be overly concerned about.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's take a caller, Andy. Our next caller. Caller from area code 617. We ready for you now? Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Hello, sir. We're ready for you, but do you mind muting your TV line? Hello, sir. Mute your TV line, not the phone line. *6 to unmute your line, sir. *6 to unmute the line. All right.
Hello, madam. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hi, Nitya. Hi, Rahul, and hi, Emily. I have a question, two questions actually. So the first question is, I'm right now on H1B with it is valid until Feb 2022, and I traveled to India. In April, and I got an NI approval, and recently I traveled back to US. So my company started filing the extension, H1B extension. So for the next 3-year period. So if I get the extension, once I get the extension, right, so the I-94 will be valid until the next, whatever the expiry date, right? So if I travel outside of India in the next in next 1 or 2 months, once the H1 is approved, maybe in November or December, so when coming back to the port of entry, so will I get the I-94 with until Feb 2022, or will I get the I-94 date as the next, whatever the H1B expiry date?
Wait, when is your passport visa expiring, you said?
Yeah, my passport visa and H1 both are expiring in Feb 2022.
So you are planning to go back outside the country, trying to come back again before Feb 2022?
Yeah, my company started just filing the H1.
No, I know, but you didn't answer my question though. You're planning to come back before February 2022.
Yes, sir. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, you should be getting an I-94 until your next I-797 expiration date, which should be in 2026 though. Even though your passport visa expiring in February of 2022, since you have an I-797, you should show them the H1B approval that is expiring in 2026. Sorry, not 2026, 2025. And get the I-94. If by any chance when you enter into United States, check your I-94. If by any chance it doesn't reflect the new I-797, you should contact your company's lawyer.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And the other question is, my priority date is June 2016 in EB3. So in case the filing dates moves in the November or December bulletin, and if I file for 485 and if I get married sometime back in sometime after in Jan or Feb 2022, so when can I add my spouse? Do I need to wait until the filing dates becomes current, or
yes.
or do I need to?
So when when the window of opportunity opens, is that right? Sometimes it opens, sometimes it closes. If the window, and you know when it opens, a lot of our audiences know when it opens, when it closes. If the window of opportunity closes though, you cannot add your wife at that point of time. You have to wait until the until the window opens again. Okay? We strictly tell you that you should maintain the 485 application. You should maintain the H1B status to keep the option open, to bringing your wife on H4, maintaining her on the H4. Keep that option open. Don't get married to the adjustment of status. If you are planning to get married to somebody else, wait. Don't get married to adjustment of status.
Okay, sir. And so will there be?
Let's go to let's allow the other.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling. Just keep track of who you're marrying, whether it's the adjustment of status or the person. All right, folks, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We have to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with you.
Are your kids aiming for top Ivy League colleges? Are your kids aiming for top 1% scores in SAT or ACT? What is the biggest hurdle? English. To have a strong foundation in English, Test Prep Pundits presents long-term SAT, ACT English program with robust curriculum and experienced teachers. For grades 6 through 10, just $80 a month. Contact us, info@testpreppundits.com, or call us, 844-383-7844.
Fine diamond jewelry is now one click away. Maya Fine Jewels, a family legacy manufacturing their own jewelry since 1975. Shop online for lab-certified diamond jewelry at Indian prices. Visit your trusted family jeweler, Maya Fine Jewels, at 1315 Oak Tree Road, Islin, New Jersey. Shop online at mayafinejewels.com.
సిలికాన్ ఆంధ్ర మనబడి అమెరికాలో ACS వాస్క్ గుర్తింపు పొందిన ఏకైక తెలుగు విద్యాలయం. మీ పిల్లలను 2021-2022 తరగతులలో చేర్పించండి. తరగతుల నమోదు ప్రారంభమైనది. సెప్టెంబర్ 11, 2021 నుండి తరగతులు ప్రారంభం. మనబడిలో చేర్పిద్దాం, తెలుగు భాష నేర్పిద్దాం. మరిన్ని వివరాలకు సంప్రదించండి manabadi.siliconandhra.org, info@manabadi.siliconandhra.org, 1-844-626-BUDDY.
Hire international teachers who are well trained in U.S. curriculum for just $20 an hour, or for 2 students group, $15 an hour. We teach math, science, and English for elementary, middle, and high school. Contact info at Test Prep Pundits. Call at 844-383-7844.
A new wave in the test prep. Test prep pundits offer SAT, PSAT, ACT just for $499, with powerful teachers, with top 1 percentile tutors, and powered by stellar digital curriculum. Contact us at info@testpreppundits.com or call at 844-383-7844.
On her big day, she decides how it's going to be.
Get ready to make way for the brides of India.
With Malabar Gold and Diamonds.
తెలంగాణ అమెరికా తెలుగు సంఘం TTA ఆధ్వర్యంలో న్యూ జెర్సీలోని కన్వెన్షన్ అండ్ ఎక్స్పో సెంటర్ లో మే 27, 28, 29, 2022 ఈ 3 రోజులు మెగా కన్వెన్షన్ నిర్వహించనున్నారు. ప్రముఖ వ్యాఖ్యాత సుమా కనకాలతో పాటు మరెందరో సినీ రాజకీయ ప్రముఖులు విచ్చేయనున్నారు. అంతేకాదు ప్రముఖ గాయని గాయకులతో SPBకి ఘన నివాళి, కప్రిసియో బ్యాండ్ మరియు వైవిధ్యభరితమైన ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమాలు ఆహుతులను అలరించనున్నాయి. ఆటలు పాటలతో సినీ తారలు, బుల్లితెర నటీనటులు, జానపద కళాకారులు అందరికీ ఇదే మా సాదర ఆహ్వానం. ఫర్ మోర్ డీటెయిల్స్ ప్లీజ్ విజిట్ www.tdaconvention.org.
ఆకర్షణీయమైన చీరలు, అబ్బురపరిచే ధరలు, అందరికీ నచ్చిన, అందరూ మెచ్చిన షో మన లక్కీ మహిళ. బోలెడంత ఎక్సైట్మెంట్, వండర్ఫుల్ విన్నింగ్ మూమెంట్స్.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్ చెప్పారు, మీరే గెలుచుకున్నారండి. కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్, $220.
సెలబ్రిటీ హోస్టులు, అదిరిపోయే పంచులు, సరదా సరదా కబుర్లు.
ఆశ దోశ అప్పడం బడ హెల్ప్ మీరు ఆడుతున్నారు.
ఇలా మరెన్నో మెమరబుల్ మూమెంట్స్ తోటి ఫస్ట్ యానివర్సరీ జరుపుకుంటోంది మన లక్కీ మహిళ. Watch it live only on TV Asia Telugu.
అమెరికాలో నూరి ఫౌండేషన్ ఆధ్వర్యంలో సర్వాంతర్యామి అయిన శ్రీ షిరిడి సాయిబాబా మందిరాన్ని
On the talk show with experts, we have two immigration experts today, Rahul Garu and Emily Garu. Emily, like we said, Garu is a connotation for respect. So you're Emily Garu for today. All right, let's take our next caller, Andy. And in the meantime, I have a question. This is from Amit Patel. He says, I'm working on COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing. Does one need to be continuously employed between Jan of 2020 to August 2021 to be eligible to be an essential worker?
You want to go?
Hello?
Yeah.
Sir, we can hear you, but can you just mute your line? We'll get back to you in 1 minute.
The plain reading of the law says that it's the plain reading of the law, Nitya Garu, says that he must have been working in the beginning of January 31st of 2020 to the ending of August 24th of 2021, according to page number 3 of the immigration provisions of this budget reconciliation bill. So if he did not work for the entire period, there is a good chance that he may not be eligible for the essential workers. So we'll have to see if the devil is in the details, especially when things are not clear in the essential workers. Right. As Emily was pointing out, they are going to create a separate form. They're going to create separate things. So there will be a regulations, or there will be a more detailed description that will be coming after the bill is being passed, though. Certain things are very clear. Certain things are very clear for the people whose priority date is more than 2 years. They can file based on the $5,000. It should not be that hard for the USCIS to do anything. For the essential workers, especially since they don't need the labor certification, since they don't need the I-140 approval to file the 485, they've only given the guidance with regards to a memo that they have issued. With regards to the critical essential workers. Okay. That was issued somewhere that was issued in 2020. Critical essential workers, especially in covering the financial sector, covering the information technology, especially the people who are working in the security, healthcare, and certain other things, and food, other things but we haven't got more clear guidelines with regards to. This bill may not have a clear guidelines. It may leave it to the interpretation of this administration, where they would be coming with some guidelines after the bill is passed about it.
Got it. And related to this, I remember seeing another question from a gentleman, and he said he works as an IT programmer in a hospital. So would that also be considered being an essential worker?
Emily?
Because you said IT, you said medical.
Right, yeah. I think it's going to come down to when USCIS actually implements this.
Okay.
What are they going to, they'll provide us more details at that time. I think it's unclear right now.
But since he's helping the healthcare workers, patients, delivery of the medicine, functioning of the hospital, there is a high likely chance that he may be included in it. If he has been working from January 30th of 2020 to August 24th of 2021. Could you say, Emily, that this may be very equal to the the exemption that's available for the national interest exemption that they're giving for the people who are getting visas? It may be filed in line.
Those categories are overlapping quite a bit, and they are, it's open to making an argument as of right now with the NIE. So if you can make an argument that your work ties directly into critical infrastructure, I do think that's a possibility.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's take our caller now. Caller from area code 916. We're ready for you now. Caller from area code 916, Andy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Nitya Garu. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes,
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Rahul Garu and Nitya Garu. It's a great help you're doing for our community. It's a great help. Thank you. I have a quick question. I'm on a green card. If I do two jobs, means two jobs, like one full-time and one contract, or both full-time or both contract in this combination? If I do, will I be any issue while I'm getting a citizenship?
Absolutely not. My wife works for 8 different companies, some of them in 1099, some of them on W-2s though. No problem. Absolutely. You can do, please pay taxes. We need the money for you.
Okay, sure.
Rahul, I must interrupt. Your wife is working in 8 different companies, and that was a big loss of information here.
She's an on-call person, so that happens.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
People are unable to figure out how to work with one company, okay, and in our caller's case, 2 companies, but your wife is working 8 companies. Whoa.
Yeah, Rahul, additional question on the same thing. Is there any organization like IRS or any organization will inform to the company I'm working as a full-time that I have taken the other contract position? Is there any chance they're going to inform to the company I'm working for?
If the IRS does inform, the guy will lose the job and maybe even detained for criminal activity. They don't have the authority, just like okay, I see 2 W-2s, let me call the employer. They don't have the discretion. The IRS cannot just do that.
Okay, because I heard like one of the guy from my cousin's workplace was fired because he is doing 2 jobs, being a full-time.
That's up to each employer to decide what to do. But the government officer informing, they don't have an authority. Do you think so? They have an authority, Emily, to open up?
Not.
Okay, means I don't know how the employer came to know that he's working for the other contract position. Yeah, that's a different. Okay, thank you, Rahul Garu. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Let's take our next caller. I guess the only way IRS comes after you is if you don't report something or you don't pay your taxes on time. So, you can hold 8 jobs, as long as you report everything and pay taxes, you guys should be fine, I guess, right? All right, let's take our caller. But before that, we have a question. This is from Chill Cool Guy. All right, he says, can we apply for a 485 on EB2 or EB3 employer-based if you have already applied for an EB2 and it's currently in the final stage, i.e. no ID on medical, and 485J response has been sent?
So he already filed, and he already filed the 485s. I-140 is approved. And if he has got a NOID and medical, assuming his I-140 is approved, that's what I get it is. I-140 is approved. And his priority date is current though. He should not be doing anything. If he got a NOID approved, there's a good chance his green card will be approved. Maybe Monday, maybe next week.
All right. Now, I'm seeing a lot of questions on, what are the chances of this bill passing, Rahul and Emily, both of you, and passing in September of 21, they're asking. I thought the bill was going to be
Emily, can you also give the timeline when this is going to hit the floor, Emily?
Yeah, so with these, we're going to have a bill from the House and a separate bill from the Senate that has all of these provisions, not just for immigration, but everything to do with the budget over the next 10 years. Those are supposed to be finalized this week, September 15th. From there, then they have to vote on those 2 final bills, put them together to come up with whatever their compromise is going to be, vote on that compromise, and then it goes to the president. So with this bill, they seem to be on top of things and wanting to get it done. So it's very likely that they'll get it done before the end of this fiscal year, September 30th.
Emily, there are bills like Senate 386 bill, HR 1044, the Eagle bill, and in their Fairness Act bill, we have seen them. They're not hitting the floor. If they hit the floor, they come up with this amendment. They get delayed. One senator puts an objection to it. Why are you telling that this is more serious?
Yeah, because it's all about this being a budget reconciliation process, which is why the Democrats were so pushing on getting immigration included in that. So when it's a budget reconciliation bill, you do not need to break the filibuster, which means you don't need 60 votes in the Senate. You only need the majority. And the Democrats have the majority in both the House and the Senate right now. So because of that, it does have a much higher likelihood to pass. On top of that, it's not an immigration bill. This covers so many different things. Immigration is 17 pages out of everything. And so it's more likely that this will pass as part of the overall budget bill.
Oh, well, can a senator put a hold on this bill?
No, and that's the other thing is with the amendment process, when they're going through and people are throwing out different amendments, it's very limited in how long they have to do that and how many amendments can be made. It just has to happen really quick. There's not any way that one senator or one representative can hold the whole thing up. They just keep moving forward until they get a final bill.
Just for the people, this is the budget bill, guys, since there is a finances involved in it. It doesn't require filibusters. So as Emily pointed out, we have seen the Senate 386 bill hold, this senator comes and hold, and then we go beg, borrow, give some concessions to that guy. Then what happens? Another senator comes and holds it. And then we do through 3 months, write letters. We have done all these things. We write letters and then another senator bills. And then afterwards, what happens is that it gets so diluted, they all add the Chinese provision, then it goes to the House. Whoops, they don't have enough time to pass. But this time, this is not an immigration bill. This is a budget bill. This is a budget for the next 10 years. So that's the reason it's a very good chance. It doesn't require 60 votes. Good chance of passing. Look, there is not even headlines anywhere about immigration on this bill at this point of time.
Right.
Leave alone the business immigration employment based. There has not been any headlines. So there are other headlines. This is 3.5 trillion bill. I mean, I can't even count. Nitya, how many zeros there are? You're an engineer, you have to tell. I don't know how many zeros are there in that bill. Our immigration in this one, I would say, is like 1% of the bill or maybe 2% of the bill. So it has very good chances. If the whole bill passes, we definitely will have immigration in there, that's sure. But we need to see if our provisions get through, and maybe more we have to request to get our provisions.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let's go on to a caller, Andy. Caller from area code 224. We're ready for you now. Caller from area code 224.
Yeah. Hi, Andy. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Andy. Thanks for taking a call. I have a couple of questions, Andy. My priority date is like 2017 March. So recently I changed the employer. So I started my labor now. So it might take some more time. So my first question is like, when can we expect 2017 March priority become current? That's one. And second is like, when I'm filing the 140, do I need, my previous one is EB2. So now do I need to keep it in EB2 or should I go for EB3?
Are you willing to pay the $5,000 if you are allowed to file the 485? I will take the answer yes from you, even if you don't. I know you won't mind 5,000.
Even 10,000.
Okay. We only asked 5,000. Emily was worried about that $5,000. We had some debate in our office. I was discussing with Emily. Emily is of the point of the discrimination. Indians and Chinese are getting discriminated here because we end up paying the $5,000, nobody else. I said, Emily, please don't even discuss that item with my countrymen. They're fine paying $5,000. If you're willing to pay $5,000, if this bill passes through though, I'm absolutely certain your priority, you can file a 485 application May of 2022. Okay, it may be before. Yeah, if this bill passes, yes.
No, if not, right?
If not, we have to look into if there is another thing called immigration appropriation bill. If that passes in that bill, if by any chance Meng's amendments come in, we may not see the priority date movement that much. But if Meng's amendment doesn't go through, we may expect a good advance somewhere in November and December of 2021.
Okay.
Thank you,
Congresswoman Meng's amendment, I'm speaking about.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. Let's take our next caller. I have a question, Andy. This is from Nit 57. She says, let's say I checked a wrong box on my AOS application petition. What are my options? Come out clean under the oath in a GC interview, or interfile or withdraw my adjustment of status application? You checked a wrong box on the AOS application petition.
I think it partly depends on what the wrong box was, how big of an issue that is.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of ways that you can still proceed with the adjustment of status, because we don't know if you're going to be interviewed. So I would probably do an interfile with the correct information, but definitely speak with an attorney first to ensure that it's necessary and that it won't negatively impact the application. So we want to make sure that you still qualify.
Gotcha. And
obviously, if the question is, she should have given what was the wrong box.
What was it that,
If you would have said that she's a terrorist, definitely, still, I mean, is there a chance that they're going to deny it because she just said it? It is just a clerical thing. They definitely will call for the interview if they have any doubt she is, and because they want to arrest her, of course, right? If she is one of it. Right. If not, then they're going to give a chance for her to correct it. And the only main issue, Nithya Garu, that I am more fearful is if it's going to be accepted by the USCIS in the application. Once it's accepted, it's not that tough to correct a clerical error.
Gotcha. Net 57, if you're watching the show, then maybe just send us probably a brief note on what possibly are the fields that you've mislabeled. But like Emily and Rahul Garu suggested, please do not go and withdraw your application before talking to an attorney. All right, let's move on to our caller, Emily. Caller from area code 585. We're ready for you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sir? Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is, I have an employer. I have an approved I-140 from employer A. My priority date is May 28, 2014, and it's under EB2 category. And so my employer B, I got my perm approved, and my employer B says that my current employer, he says that once your date becomes current, we will file your I-140 premium processing, medicals, and interfiling, everything all at once, so that everything will be in front, and then you might get the green card quicker. So is that the way to go ahead, or should I go ahead and downgrade? I mean, this includes the downgrade as well.
It's not downgrade, it's a straight application. Right? Anyway, you just got the I-140, the labor approved though. It's not called downgrade because it's just a I-140 application. Emily, I'm just thinking that this guy should file an I-140 even though his priority date is not current. Because what we noticed, Emily, is that if you file an I-140 and 485, it normally goes to Texas, and then it takes forever for him to get it. Whenever we see the I-140 and 485 filing together, it's taking a longer time. I'm thinking of you should file an I-140 right now, and probably EB3, and then file in premium processing, and then file adjustment of status. Do you think so? You have a different opinion, Emily?
No, I totally agree with that, because filing that I-140 and 485 concurrently, you do end up likely in Texas, and it's going to take a lot longer compared to if you file the I-140 now and are able to get it approved and then file your 485, you may end up at the National Benefit Center, which is that MSC code on the receipt notice. Those are getting approved left and right from last year without an interview. They're not sending them to the local field office. I think you have a better bet of getting it faster that way.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I mean, Nithya and Rahul Reddy and Emily, you guys are doing a great job. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it, and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. Let's take our next caller. Guys, I have a question for you. This is coming from a lot of people. They're asking, can we see or read those immigration provisions in the budget recon anywhere online? Is it available for the public to view anywhere?
It's there. We can put a link on rnlawgroup.com. It's there with print out. We'll put a link on it at RNLaw. And I'll try to see if I can put a link in Tvasia link there too.
Okay, awesome. I have a question.
You can check it tomorrow. I'll request our producers to put in there.
Okay, thanks, Rahul Garu. We have a question, Nandi. This is from Prasann Dikkar. Says, my wife's H4 and H4 EAD extension got declined. We don't know the reason yet. Never got any rejection in the last 15 years. We are in adjustment of status downgrade from EB2 to EB3, November 2020. Priority date is 2011 August. So he's...
well, first is we don't know what's the reason why it is. Mostly biometrics appointment might have missed out. That's the only reason that I can think about. But Emily, they are in adjustment of status. Do they need to fear anything?
It depends. If the previous H4 was still valid, had not expired at the time the 485 was filed, then yes, you don't have to worry about it. The adjustment of status covers you, even though that extension got denied. But if this has been a very long pending application to where your previous H4 expired more than 6 months before you filed the 485, then we definitely need to figure out what happened with the H4 to get her back in H4 status so it does not negatively impact the 485.
So this sounds like it's a longer conversation that's needed with an attorney, right?
Yeah, can you also explain what this 180-day 245K?
Yeah.
245K.
Yeah, 245K is this great provision that's specifically for employment-based applicants and their dependents. When you are filing for the green card, normally at the time of filing adjustment of status, you always have to show that on the day of filing, you are properly maintaining your non-immigrant status, whether that's H1, H4, L1, L2. But 245K is a special provision that says if you fell out of status for less than 180 days, or maybe you worked without authorization for less than 180 days, or some kind of status violation that's less than 180 days from your last entry, and you file the 485 before the 180-day mark happens, you're still eligible to adjust status, even though you maybe were not in status on the day you filed your 485.
Okay, I just see a message from Prasann Dikkar. He says I-94 expired after AOS receipt.
Perfect.
This is good.
Yeah, good to go. Don't even have to worry about the H4.
Okay, awesome.
But you will be married to the adjustment of status.
Okay.
She's married to the adjustment of status, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Andy. Let's take our next caller. Caller from area code 469. We're ready for you now. Caller from area code 469, Andy. Caller from area code 469. Give him a minute. And I have a question. This is from Nidhi Raz. She says, my priority date is Feb 2014, EB3 downgrade, I-140 approved. After becoming current, what can I do to attract or trigger USCIS to process my 485? Biometrics done, medical file with 485, Nebraska Service Center.
Emily, any trick to get the attention and get them approved?
I think prayer was the best suggestion that we had earlier. Yeah, you've done everything right. You've got your I-140 approved. Biometrics are taken care of. Medical's taken care of. Now it's just a matter of waiting. The problem is there's not really any action you can take because it's still within normal processing time. So you can't do an e-request.
And what's the processing time?
I'm sorry?
What's the processing time?
Well, in Nebraska, it's probably somewhere between 2 and 4 years.
Texas?
Ridiculous processing time. I think Texas is 4 to 5 years normal processing time. So because of that, that limits your ability to take any action.
Okay, now we suggested cutting the coconut. Of course, writing all the letters is not working. But how about TikTok dance and send it to them?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of comments on YouTube as well saying maybe just make a music video or a dance video and just start posting it.
Yeah, even though we're laughing, I sincerely apologize to the particular person
I
who's
know.
been affected. I personally myself was in there. It's just the frustration that we get that we can't help you, we can't tell you what to do. We are just, making up these stories. Please, don't take these things seriously. But we actually don't have anything to tell, and that's the reason why all these stories we are making, guys.
Yeah, Nidhi, hang in there. We've all been there, done that.
And keep writing the letters that we put down there, please.
Awesome.
Those are good. Those really helped. We have response from the State Department. We have response from the USCIS. They did respond to it. But in your particular case, though, we may not be helpful. But in general, you keep writing these letters. That's the solution we have.
All right. Thank you, Rahul Garu and Emily Garu. Let's go to our next caller, Andy. Caller from area code 469. We're ready for you now. Caller from area code 469, Andy.
Okay. Double fold dala.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
We can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure, sir. Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Sure. So I want to thank all three of you for everything you're doing for us. I have two very simple questions. Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can hear you, sir. Can you mute your TV line, if you don't mind?
Yes, my TV is not on.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have filed I-485 back in last year October, and I have also got my EB3 I-140 approved in premium processing. And as Rahul sir and Emily madam had suggested, I wanted to interfile my medical, but my lawyers are saying, please wait for RFP. So is it possible to file medicals on my own?
Yes, you can. We have provided a link how to do it. It's there at the bottom of this one. If not,
okay.
Yeah, you can go and do it by yourself. You don't have to go through a lawyer.
Great. And if I get like extra copies, what will be the validity? So I'm trying to use one for interfiling. Can I save one for future? Let's say if I get an RFE 1 year from now. So can I reuse the same thing?
Yes. There is a little bit tricky question on this one, though. Only for the people who have already filed the 485, though. If you get multiple copies and original signatures, so you can use within 2 years.
Got it.
But please, people who are filing the adjustment of status, though, the rule is 60 days, guys. Only for the interfiling people and RFE response, it is 2 years. But at the same time, the medical must not have been done before filing the 485. Once you have done that before filing the 485, it's only valid until 60 days. After filing 485, it's valid for two years.
Got it. Thank you so much. And one really small question. Have you seen any improvements in H4 and H4 EAD adjustments recently? Like, is it still as bad as last year, or has it improved
you mean to
a
say
little bit?
H4 and H4 EAD's approvals, nothing to do with adjustment of status, right?
Yes.
No, we haven't seen much improvements in H4.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
sir. Thank you so much
very
for calling
much.
in.
Sure. Bye.
Bye. All right. Let's take our next caller, Andy. There's another question saying that as far as the reconciliation, can we apply for a 485 without an employer?
For essential worker. Emily?
Right.
I think so.
So the
wait. Let me rephrase the question. For sure, in the priority dates, they can, based on the priority dates in 2 years, they have to file with the employer based on our reading. But I'm speaking about the people who are 18 years old, Emily. We're speaking about for the essential workers. Do they need an employer to file a 485? Good question.
No.
Excellent
Either
question.
of them. Now, for the essential, you have to show that you did work in an essential worker capacity for that specific time period prior to filing, but you don't need an employer to sponsor you for either of those categories.
So for the kids who came under 18 before January 1st of 2021, they don't need any employment offer to file a 485. Is that right, Emily?
Correct.
For the people who have been working in the critical essential workers, our essential critical workers, they need to have a job, but they don't need employer to file they don't need employer to sign any document.
Got it. All right. Thank you both.
Excellent question. Very good question, Nitya Garu.
Thank you, Andy. That was also from our viewers. All right, I have our next caller from area code 201. We're ready for you now. Caller from area code 201. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Nitya Garu. Hi, Rahul Garu. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. Please go ahead.
My name is Murli. So I filed my downgrade application in the month of November. I got my receipts in the month of March, but till now I did not get my fingerprints or EAD or anything else. Do you see this trend normal, or you think your clients?
And what does your file number say? Does it start with SRC?
Yes, sir. It's Texas.
Oh. Welcome to Texas. We are in Texas, Emily. That's
totally normal, unfortunately.
Is there anything I can do, like expediting? Is there any way?
We have come up with TikTok. We have come up with cutting the coconuts. Any other solutions? No, sir. Other than writing letters, there is nothing we can do. You are among a lot of other people. Imagine this. You filed in November. They issued a receipt notice in March. They took 4 months. Definitely, we need improvement. There are court cases that have been filed. We haven't. We our partners have filed and it did not work out. We have another law firm filed, not our partners, but another law firm filed. That's not going any good. The only solution we tell you is keep writing the letters that we're putting at the bottom of this link.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Folks, I know there's so many more questions and so many more callers on the line waiting for us, but unfortunately we are all out of time today. We do try to stay on as long as possible to answer all of your questions, but unfortunately this is it for today. We will be able to come back and answer some more questions same time next week on the same show. Rahul Garu and Emily Garu, thank you so much for being on the show today. This was extra special for us to have you, Emily, as well. Thank you for explaining that bill, and answering so many questions. Rahul Garu, thank you so much for bringing Emily Garu onto the show today, Andy.
Thank you.
And to all our viewers, I hope all of you had a great Vinayak Chaturthi as well. And I am excited about the upcoming festival season. So we'll keep seeing you next week, same time, same place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are your kids aiming for top Ivy League colleges? Are your kids aiming for top 1% scores in SAT or ACT? What is the biggest hurdle? English. To have a strong foundation in English, Test Prep Pundits presents long-term SAT, ACT English program with robust curriculum and experienced teachers. For grades 6 through 10, just $80 a month. Contact us, info@testpreppundits.com, or call us 844-383-7844.
Fine diamond jewelry is now one click away. Maya Fine Jewels, a family legacy manufacturing their own jewelry since 1975. Shop online for lab certified diamond jewelry at Indian prices. Visit your trusted family jeweler, Maya Fine Jewels, at 1315 Oak Tree Road, Islin, New Jersey. Shop online at mayafinejewels.com.
సిలికాన్ ఆంధ్ర మనబడి అమెరికాలో ACS WASC గుర్తింపు పొందిన ఏకైక తెలుగు విద్యాలయం. మీ పిల్లలను 2021-2022 తరగతులలో చేర్పించండి. తరగతుల నమోదు ప్రారంభమైనది. సెప్టెంబర్ 11, 2021 నుండి తరగతులు ప్రారంభం. మనబడిలో చేర్పిద్దాం, తెలుగు భాష నేర్పిద్దాం. మరిన్ని వివరాలకు సంప్రదించండి manabadi.siliconandhra.org, info@manabadi.siliconandhra.org, 1844-626 బడి.
Hire international teachers who are well trained in U.S. curriculum for just $20 an hour, or for 2 students group, $15 an hour. We teach math, science, and English for elementary, middle, and high school. Contact info at Test Prep Pundits. Call at 844-383-7844.
A new wave in the test prep. Test Prep Pundits offer SAT, PSAT, ACT just for $499, with powerful teachers, with top 1 percentile tutors, and powered by stellar digital curriculum. Contact us at info@testpreppundits.com or call at 844-383-7844.
On her big day, she decides how it's going to be.
Get ready to make way for the brides of India.
With Malabar Gold and Diamonds.
తెలంగాణ అమెరికా తెలుగు సంఘం TTA ఆధ్వర్యంలో న్యూ జెర్సీలోని కన్వెన్షన్ అండ్ ఎక్స్పో సెంటర్ లో మే 27, 28, 29, 2022 ఈ 3 రోజులు మెగా కన్వెన్షన్ నిర్వహించనున్నారు. ప్రముఖ వ్యాఖ్యాత సుమా కనకాలతో పాటు మరెందరో సినీ రాజకీయ ప్రముఖులు విచ్చేయనున్నారు. అంతేకాదు ప్రముఖ గాయని గాయకులతో SPBకి ఘన నివాళి, కప్రిసియో బ్యాండ్ మరియు వైవిధ్యభరితమైన ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమాలు ఆహుతులను అలరించనున్నాయి. ఆటలు పాటలతో సినీ తారలు, బుల్లితెర నటీనటులు, జానపద కళాకారులు అందరికీ ఇదే మా సాదర ఆహ్వానం. ఫర్ మోర్ డీటెయిల్స్ ప్లీజ్ విజిట్ www.tdaconvention.org.
ఆకర్షణీయమైన చీరలు, అబ్బురపరిచే ధరలు, అందరికీ నచ్చిన, అందరూ మెచ్చిన షో మన లక్కీ మహిళ. బోలెడంత ఎక్సైట్మెంట్, వండర్ఫుల్ విన్నింగ్ మూమెంట్స్.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్ చెప్పారు, మీరే గెలుచుకున్నారండి. కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్, $220.
సెలబ్రిటీ హోస్ట్లు, అదిరిపోయే పంచులు, సరదా సరదా కబుర్లు.
ఆశ దోశ అప్పడం బడ హెల్ప్ మీరు ఆడుతున్నారు.
ఇలా మరెన్నో మెమరబుల్ మూమెంట్స్ తోటి ఫస్ట్ యానివర్సరీ జరుపుకుంటోంది మన లక్కీ మహిళ. Watch it live only on TV Asia Telugu.